Did you ever threaten any of your police officers?
No, never.
The former police chief of Mesquite answering our questions following weeks filled with uncertainty and controversy. This follows a fiery debate at Mesquite City Hall, which led to the firing of the city manager. And that's when we turned our attention to the other prominent person involved, and that's the police chief. This is 8 News Now at 11. I'm Denise Valdez.
And I'm Brian Loftus. 8 News Now reporter James Schaefer has the exclusive interview with the former chief who's facing multiple accusations, including threatening to harm his officers. James.
Brian, Denise, former police chief Maquade Chesley initially hesitated to answer our questions. We argued he should be held to the same standard as the city manager when we asked him about his comments. Chesley then agreed to an interview to finally answer lingering questions. We started with the most alarming part of the city's investigation. There were a few accusations on there that were shocking. One of which was that you had threatened to cut the throat of a police officer if he made comments that led to your termination. Was that true?
No.
Can you give any context to why that would have been in the investigation?
Chesley's first answer to the city's internal police department investigation, which included threats to cut officers' throats if Chesley lost his job as a result of their testimonies. Once that investigation was complete, Chesley was fired. We continued through the report, asking Chesley if he had demoted officers who spoke with the investigator, demoting them by removing their responsibilities and privileges.
What it was the two deputy chiefs were demoted to lieutenant. And that decision was made through myself, the city manager, Edward, Owen, Dickie, and the city attorney.
We asked about the accusations that Chesley changed test scores for specific officers who were working towards promotion.
Any accusations saying that I've altered scores, I didn't even have access to those documents to alter them. It's completely false, 100% inaccurate. The people that tested landed where they landed fairly as far as any information I have, and I promoted the top person every time.
We then asked if Chesley had threatened to file criminal charges against an employee who had filed a complaint against him.
Absolutely false. And that's the problem, is when someone conducts an investigation that has no background in police work, they don't understand how it works. So anytime an officer is under misconduct or investigation, if that arises to a criminal element or a crime, it's our duty as executives in the police department to notify or speak with the district attorney or person that would prosecute that crime.
We return back to our initial question about threats on officers. We asked Chesley for a more robust response to the internal investigation, which labeled him a cancer on the department.
Did you ever threaten any of your police officers?
No, never. Absolutely not.
So why is that in the investigation report, do you think?
Well, I think there was people that wanted me out as police chief, and they were throwing any accusations they could to try to get me out.
Now, another question we had is just who conducted this investigation. We asked the city attorney weeks ago if this was someone from Mesquite making these findings. Well, the city attorney told me the investigator in question has decades of law experience and is Las Vegas based. Denise?
So James, Chesley wants to move on from this for the sake of his family and also for future job prospects. He does have at least one lawsuit, though, against the city of Mesquite right now. For our reporting on the firing of Mesquite City Manager, as well as other stories impacting Southern Nevada, you can download our 8 News Now Vegas TV app, available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku.